I'll see you soon, my best friend. You know it's been another 5 years. Can you tell me how long it's been going on? I can't seem to remember at all, it seems. Could it be my memory is fading? Was it before even the Civil War? I'll see you soon, my friend. I'll go through the gullies and the valley. I'll climb the mountain and go through the fjords. I'll find you soon, my sweet love. I'll go through the desert along the sea coast. I know I'll find you, you see. 'Cause darling, we're meant to be together, wherever you and I may be. You may not even be on this earth sea, but still together we'll find you and me. All right, that's just sort of a little example of a little dreamy fantasy kind of country folk type song, I guess you could call it. So the past video, I think the last one, I was talking about my troubles with hearing this backlash against white blues players, and I thought, it's stupid. I'm glad I brought it up in a way, but on the other hand, it's like apparently there's just a lot of stuff going on with younger musicians or writers or whatever, the whole scene, I guess. I don't know what's going on in the blues world. I don't know, and I don't care. I live out here in the country, and I just kind of, I am behind in my animal care, behind in my own health care, behind with, there's so much I need to do here. The idea that anybody even remotely affect me, like some guy named Buffalo Nichols, is a drag. I mean, it's really, I'm kind of disappointed in myself, to be honest. But I suppose part of it is that I'm working on this book, and already people have told me, we're going to deal, we will deal with if it gets out there. But I think, again, what's the worst that can happen? Who cares? What difference does it make? If somebody says, oh, I stole everything from the Burnside family and I have no right to write about this, does it really matter? Who cares? They don't think that. That's all that really matters. And if controversy does anything, it creates interest in something. But I will just say that I made a comment to Buffalo Nichols on his video, because I guess he got the thing out of my system, and because I don't know why it bothered me, the idea that some writers bring. I mean, it's a total waste of time in some way. I let this this thing that I heard from a friend of mine, and then on top of that, I think the worst thing that I heard was this guy, Matt McCormick from Texas. He's passed away in 2015, and he was a writer about Texas blues, and he had tons of pages of notes that his daughter sent to the Smithsonian. And I think that's the thing that got me the most, was that they could take what he wrote and change it around. And not using terminology of the era in the early 70s he was writing about, to accuse him of stealing from black people, and it's ridiculous, the whole thing. I mean, and now that is something to have a beef with, a legitimate beef. I mean, so I suppose we'd have to defend ourselves if we were accused of that. But um, the thing about who cares what people can play or don't play? Who cares what somebody says? I mean, that's just old, stale, mundane insanity. I mean, you know, what if a 25-year-old Indian says to some white person that wants to play folk songs of the Hopis, Indians, you have no right to be here. You're not part of our culture. You can't play our music. It's true, he's not a direct part of the culture, but if he chooses to have some interest in that culture, why can't he learn to play it? I mean, my heritage is Irish, English, and Scottish, and half Ukrainian. So if I chose to go back to the Ukrainian side of my family and learn Ukrainian folk songs, I suppose um, that would be accepted because I'm half Ukrainian. But what if I wanted to go and do it, like go to Mississippi and learn blues? Because I'm not originally from there, or I'm not black, I'm not originally from Mississippi, I'm not, does that give me the right to play it, or does it not give me the right to play it? It's a ridiculously stupid, dumb argument to say that people can't play what they damn well want to play. So I'm bringing this up, and because there's one part of it that I think that's important, and that's that when I was looking at R.L. Burnside in the '80s, there was a duo from where I'm originally from, Washington D.C. and Virginia, and named John Cephas and Phil Wiggins. And John Cephas was about the people's age, R.L. Burnside and Eddie Burns, another guy I was working with. He was they were in their 60s, and I was, 29, 30, early 30s, late 20s. And Phil, the harmonica player with John Cephas, was the same age. Now, he was from town, from Washington, D.C., and he was black, educated, very educated man. He was not like from the country in Virginia or Maryland. He was not that not that that's not educated, but that he was like me. He'd gone to college, whatever. And John Stevens was a great guitar player, a wonderful guy. But they got all the big fat gigs, okay? The big money making gigs from the United States Information Agency, because we had applied for that work, and there are different tiers to that for work. And I think the first tier, they actually the embassies in the countries that they go to, or the culture. There's some kind of a cultural I thing that the embassy is presenting to the local people, wherever country you're in. So they could do that. And a lot of it was because they were two black players. Now, the guys I was working with, R.L. Burnside or Eddie Burns, they were black, but I was not. Now, in that way, they're saying it's blatant racism. They're saying, well, no, you're not black, and so you can't get on this other tier. We can get you there. If you get there and the embassy has money, they can hire you. Okay, so we put you on our list for that. Well, that doesn't seem very fair, but it's what it was. And we did some work. I did some work with them in Yugoslavia and Greece, and that's how it went down. We were there in the area, and they provided us with money to play gigs there. So now, Cephas and Wiggins were great musicians, and I really enjoyed their music and everything. So I'm not taking anything away from their music, but it's the idea that that promotes this kind of racist thing. Now, John Stevens was authentic, I think, pretty authentic. I mean, what does authentic blues player mean? To me, it means somebody who learns the music where they're from. Like, as an example, R.L. Burnside, I know this to be true. Sure, he listened to records and everything. Most people do and did and learn. But R.L. also learned from the people he was around, and that creates, in a certain miles, counties, a radius, whatever you want to call it, it creates a sound of the style that is in that area. And as it moves to another place, miles away, like from the hill country down into the delta, the style changes some. And it changes because the people are different. Maybe the lifestyle is different. In the northern part of the state, it's colder, it's whatever. Who knows why, The southern part, and on the delta, it's a different kind of work. I mean, God only knows, but it causes something to be different. Just like everywhere. Everybody plays music different, but in terms of the general way of speaking about it, that's what creates, I think, an authentic blues person is that the people learn directly from those people that are around them. And I'm not saying Buffalo Nichols or uh, or Phil Williams or anybody else or Cedric Burnside. Cedric grew up with that, but I mean, it's just that still there is a difference between. Cedric grew up in the Burnside family, but he grew up uh, also as a modern young blues player. He's still getting young now, but I mean, he grew up in the time of R.L.'s others, of course, his other sons and family. Whereas it was much more isolated when R.L. began to play that kind of music, and where who he directly learned from, who those people had learned from other people. That so it's in this isolated kind of environment that the music people learn how to play it, and it creates a style. Now, chances are Buffalo Nichols is no more authentic than I am. So, because now he has the heritage that I don't have. He is African American, and he has the right to play the music just like I do. But that doesn't mean that my heritage is the same as his, because it's not. So there's no problem with that. But to say to anybody that they can't do something because of the skin tone of their that's just like I mentioned him in this comment, and you can find the comment if you want. I wrote him a comment. It's in one of the the first video that popped up. I left him a comment, and I said, and I think I was right because somebody told me that this interviewer was provoking him in a way, as they do. They want to set up a controversial thing and create a situation where people are getting knocked down instead of uplifted. Instead of saying, don't you think that these people, if it wasn't for white people, much of there wouldn't be. I don't think a commercial blues scene with the little bit that there is, because we never played in front of black audiences, never. And I guess, like some friend of mine said, black people moved away from the blues a long time ago, and then they created this other great music, soul music, and all kinds of great stuff. So maybe like they're the inventors, and then they do their thing, and then they leave it for the rest of us, to go back into and check out. I don't know, and it's wonderful, but it's wonderful that people like Buffalo Nichols are into playing that music and going back and re-looking at it. But I think that he should realize, like I told him in this comment, I said, before you let somebody, some misguided interviewer, ask the same boring, stale question, do white people have the right to play blues, or what do you think of white people playing blues? remember, they're just trying to push something on you. Because it's a ridiculously stupid, boring question. Because the answer is, of course we do. And not just did the white people support blues as musicians, but they promoted it. They they promoted it. Record companies, the fans especially, they came out, for it. And they paid at least where you felt like you were getting paid something more than $10 and a barbecue chicken sandwich, or if that. Now, that's not to say that every club like that in the country pays that. And they don't have a lot of money, but I'm just saying in general, I'm talking about these country shacks that hire bands here for the night. But generally speaking, they take their music, I think, and I noticed, for granted because it's there and it's just part of their culture. And other people, they saw it, like now I'm talking about the Europeans, they saw it, as this magic. And then they took it in Europe and they brought it back to us here. And it's just been the way it is since the end of World War II, at least, probably before. People have been going over there to Europe to make money on this music, on blues, to create a living for themselves because they couldn't make it in the States. But anyway, and it doesn't matter if they were black, especially black players though, but white people too. So American music just isn't, American blues, jazz just isn't as, uh, it's not as accepted in our country as far as, I guess, legitimate music or music that many people want to see, as it is in Europe, where you can get paid more fairly for it. Maybe something will change in the future, but probably not. But anyway, this is just my opinion about all this stuff, and it probably doesn't mean a damn thing, because in the long, great scheme of life, once again, what difference does it make? We live, we do what we want to do, and we're not going to let other people tell us what we can do and not do if we're not doing anything that's hurting anybody else. It doesn't matter. If I wanted to spend my day as an abstract artist and I wanted to paint, and that's all I wanted to do, and somebody said, you have no right to do that because you're not Marc Chagall or whatever, I would say, well, what do you mean? That's what I mean here. So I'll end this by saying, yeah, what do you mean when you tell me I can't play something? I don't even know what I was just playing, but it seemed like it was country or sort of a folky type thing. Why? Because I don't live in the Glens, whatever that, I guess it's Scotland, the Glens, or the forest, and in Norway or wherever. No, I can be where I want to be. I can write what I want to be, and I can sing a song about wherever I want to place it, and however I want to change it. And if I want to change those notes and can create some kind of a sound that makes me feel, that creates or helps emanate the feelings that I'm having within that song to try to create the song, nobody's going to tell me I can't play something because I'm not a direct part of that culture, where the music comes from. And again, I can't even believe I'm saying or bringing this up, but I had just heard recently, because I really hadn't paid attention for years, because like I said, I'm not in the scene anymore. I don't deal with this on an everyday, you know, basis from gig to gig, like people that I know that are touring. So I had just heard that there's this big backlash these days against white people's involvement in blues. Now, I'm surprised to hear about it, really, because I just thought how lame. Yeah, lame. So there it is, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I hope you were able to get something from this video. And going to I'm gonna do another couple songs, just in different styles coming up, just to uh, emphasize again that if you love something and you want to do it, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Have a great weekend wherever you're at. Fine morning, evening, night, or day. And thanks for listening. I hope. I know this is a video that went but hope I hope there was a through line there somewhere. Okay. Bye bye, you guys.